Well, to be frank, this entire episode happened by total accident. All I wanted to do was go down to my buddy's shop and have him solve a problem that I've been having with water pressure and my prop. And it went from there to we may as well go test the prop. And if we're gonna test the prop and we're already there, we may as well go fishing. Buddy.
Hey.
I need some of your prop guru water pressure wizardry magic because I got a major issue now that these tides have been dropping. I'm running around and I'm overheating all the time. And it's just because I can't get the benefit of the plate. I mean, we put that 6-inch jack plate on there and I may as well be back to the 4-inch. I can't get it up high enough.
We got props with grip. We got ways to get water to the motor. Auxiliary from the factory intake, so let's go look at it and see what we need to do.
Yeah, let's take a look at it because I'm frustrated. When I get up to about 4 inches up on the plate, I can see the water pressure dropping. I get to 5 and I know I got 100, 200 yards and I'm gonna overheat. I never even get to 6. And that was the whole idea for me going from an Atlas plate to a Bob's plate.
Get the extra height.
Is to get that extra little, and you know how it is, 1 inch here means everything.
A lot, yes. First off, I'm not sure why that prop is on this motor. There's a prop that would benefit this motor a whole lot better than that blade style. So we can fix that. We have scoops that can get you that little bit of water back. And then the next step above that is running one of our witchcraft lines through your hull.
Really?
Which will eliminate you ever having to worry about where your gear case is in forever. It's gone.
It's done.
So yeah, you can run as high as this thing will possibly go. And with the prop that we could put on it, you will have grip as high as you could ever go. We could go more and still have grip. So.
Well, let's try the first 2 options first and see how I do.
Yeah, we can do the scoops and the better prop.
Scoops and the better prop. And the better prop really offers what? Am I going, you want to put a 4-blade on?
Yeah, we can run a 4-blade, get more grip. You'll have your ability to turn when you're elevated, which you don't have with that. And that 4-blade will hold more water against that intake. So it'll cure some of your problems there. And with the scoops, it'll pretty much eliminate those problems.
So it should be an improvement no matter what.
100%, you'll have a better hole shot. You'll lose a tiny bit of speed, but a mile or 2 ain't gonna hurt you. But the benefit of being able to trim it and jack it is absolutely high as it'll go, and you will not make that prop blow out. Absolutely won't make it blow out.
When you approach late fall, early winter, moving into the holidays, in my area, in the Nature Coast area, you have very little water to work with. And generally speaking, I like running my little 16-foot Eldora with a 25 tiller on it. But I've got a lot of trips. We're filming a lot this time of year, and we do an awful lot of content for Flats Glass University. So I needed the 17.8 Professional with that 70 Yamaha on it, but I was just struggling getting anywhere in the boat just because I needed like 10, 12, 14 inches of water to run anywhere without overheating. Well, that prop and those intake changes changed the game altogether. Now I'm able to run, if I'm brave enough, in about 7 to 8 inches of water and get almost anywhere I can go with my Eldora. Well guys, as you can see, we're out here on a negative tide day. And we have not only a negative tide, but we have an east wind blowing a little over 10 miles an hour. And it had been blowing for 2 or 3 days at a greater velocity than that, more like 20, 25. So there is no water here. And I've heard a lot of the local native guides complaining about hard to plan trips when you don't have any water to run in. Those that are fortunate enough to have real small skiffs or even duck boats, they're out here trying to fish. Now, my objective today is to try to find fish in these lockdown holes on this negative tide. And if I can, and I can still move around without knocking my lower unit off my Yamaha, that's exactly what we're gonna do. See, every once in a while, you just got to give them that look, you know, that look like they owe you money, and they'll go the other way. Pro tip. That's a decent one there. A little bit better. A little bit better fish right there. This is the moment of truth right here. Oh. Now that is what I've been after. Take those barbs off, you can get them right off. That's a decent trout there. Now, if I could just catch a good number of that size trout, I'd be proud of my day today. There are a lot of pros and cons to fishing alone. One, you get to make all the decisions. That's a pretty good pro. The con is you have to do everything, and you can't experiment as much as you could if you had another angler. So now you have to go through progressions of lures faster to figure out what the fish want. So in this case, you know, just what I would call messing around fishing, we ran to the end of the mouth of the creek, and I fished a lot of zones in there trying to develop a pattern. And the pattern that I developed was I was catching too small a trout. So I decided that maybe I had overshot the main, you know, big wad of fish that I was looking for, and I had come too far down the creek. So then I turned around and I ran about halfway up to a funnel where I know that those fish would have to come off a flat. And that is when the game changed. There we go. Oh yeah, oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. This one here. And I could feel him slow take it too. Boy, he came right up on it. Ooh, come on now. It's cool to have a reel with a drag clicker because it just sounds cool. You're just not used to having that with a casting reel. And many would say, why are you even using a casting reel? Couldn't you do this with a spinning reel? But the thing is I'm trying to work the lure slow. And this picks up lines so much slower than a spinning reel. It allows me to work the bait slower than I would be able with a spinning reel. Oh yeah. This one here, I might have to dig out the net. All right. Boy, that's a good green fish. Oh, look at the size of that redfish. Wow. I knew I needed to get him in because I was losing that front hook and it's already popped out. Already popped out. Look at the size of that fish. That's a good afternoon. That's what negative tide fishing is all about. There he is. That's a good one too, bud. That's a good red. That one's dogging. You can hear the clicker on my baits. This is a little salty hundo. Hard baits are so much fun to throw this time of year. Cooler water temperatures, you're out trout fishing, you get into some of these zones where the water's pouring off the flat and you can catch some really nice fish. I gotta be careful with this guy, that's why I'm trying to keep him away from my troller, my move. because I only have 10-pound butt section on this leader because I like to trout fish dangerously. So I have to baby them a little bit. The water's nice and cool, so I'm not worried about it, but I want to be able to make a run back there for my net. It's one of those North Carolina colors that my buddies over there at Miralore gave me a couple to try out. They do some limited runs over there at Miralore, and I just love trying some of those different colors out in different water clarities. Look at the size of that thing. That thing's got to be 30 inches long. You're gonna see in a second why I love bending the barbs down too. Look at that easy. Oh, what a beaut. I'd like to do that a few more times before we call it a day. Or I have to get on the phone with Big Fish Billy and find out where these big trout are. The bait swap did help us out, you know, changing things up a little bit. This is one of those colors that I'm a big fan of, anything with a pink or purple base like this, because wintertime it just seems like purple is just one of those colors that just catches fish. On my YouTube channel I've done a lot of what I would call videos saying, is purple the best inshore color? And you ask yourself, and many times when you're using it, it truly is. But if you really look how light this leader is. This is some of the lightest leader you'll see guys throwing. This is 10-pound, this is diamond, this is their presentation fluorocarbon, and I've got like about 6 feet of it with just about that much of the 20-pound for bite tippet. But it makes that bait look like the real deal. All right. Let's get back in there and see if we can't duplicate those results a few more times. One thing that is unique to the west coast of Florida is the number of creeks and rivers that spill into the Gulf. And when the days start getting shorter and the water temp starts dropping, you'll see a lot of fish move into these creeks. They're moving into the creeks because the further that they can get in there, the warmer the water will be. Creeks are really a place to target fish from late fall all through the winter and going into the spring. To me, it's my favorite time of year because there's no guessing where the fish are. They're in the creeks. And once that water temperature's set, they're gonna stay there all the way till you get to March. Ooh, big boil, big boil, big boil. Oh yeah, baby. Stay on there, stay on there. Stay on. That is a good one. Oh yeah. Oh, nice redfish. Holy smokes. Who put all these redfish in my trout spot? This has turned into one of my favorite reels. The salty hundo. Wow. It is so gratifying when you're twitch, 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 stop it, and you go to twitch again and you're like, wow, it stopped. I must be hung up. No, it's pulling the other way. Gotta love it. It's a great feeling. It is a great feeling. Gotta keep this guy under control here. All right, bud. Oh man, you got that thing too. Oh man, it barely fits in the net. Look at the size of that thing. Wow. Just wow. I love Miralore. It is such a good bait this time of year. This one is huge. Oh yeah, look at that. You think he wanted that? Man, he must have found out the McRibs were back at McDonald's. That's how easy it is to get out. That easy when you mash down the barbs. If you're having trouble with inline hooks, not being able to keep fish buttoned, don't put them on your baits. Just mash the barbs down on your treble hooks. No harm, no foul. Look at that fish. That is a honking big fish. Wow, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Oh, you made my afternoon. Back in the drink you're going. Woo! On these negative tide days, you do have the occasional negative tide day where you don't find fish this easily. We have been able to find numbers all day long. It's finding the quality that takes a little bit more time, and understanding what the topography looks like up on the flats that drain into the creek that you're trying to fish. If you can figure out that, you can figure out how to catch a couple of quality ones like we have this afternoon. When you're faced with the conditions that I had today, one of the simplest things to do is to fish lighter gear. I'm trying to throw Myrdine XLs into very shallow water. The only way I can really do it is if I lighten everything up. So what I've done here is I've lightened the hooks up, and you can see the difference here in the two sets of hooks. So shorter shank, lighter wire, and I've mashed the barbs down, and then I've gone with a much lighter leader. I have a 20-pound piece of tippet here, and then I have a 10-pound piece of butt section. And that is all put up, connected to my bait salty here, and on here I actually do have 20-pound, this is 20-pound diamond braid. So it's a good little system. I've got it mated up with an FG knot between the actual braid material and the leader material. So the leader overall length on this is probably about 6 feet long, but it absolutely does not impede my casting ability with that light leader and those slim line knots. And then you've got enough forgiveness with this much leader. Believe it or not, there's a lot of forgiveness. This is a medium action, a 7-foot medium action rod from Fitzgerald. So the whole system plays very nice, and I can make long casts. I'm able to manipulate this bait in about 6 or 8 inches of water, and the fish were all sitting right on a little lip where it went from 6, 8 inches of water down to about 1.5 feet. And as soon as it came off that edge and they were laying there, just cruising up and down that edge, it was just magic. So before I let you get away, I want to show you what I'm doing with these barbs on the hook. If you want to have trouble-free release issues with fish, 2 things you need. You need to mash down the barbs on your hook, and you need a rubber mesh net that I have back there from Ego. But this is something I can show you up close here. And I can tell you from personal experience, this has been a joy to fish. I'm not losing fish. They don't roll off, and it just works out nice with these mashed hooks down, because even when you net the fish, it's easy to get the fish right out of the net. I've had them where they've got both sets of trebles in them, and I'm able to just reach in there with my pliers and pull them right out every time. As long as you keep the tip of the rod active where there's always weight on it, they don't come off the treble hook. They just won't. And that honestly is all you need to do to have success fishing with these plugs. Mash the barbs down, use lighter setups, and you too will be on the path to success with hard baits this winter. Oh, that's a redfish. Oh, that's a trout. Holy cow, that's a trout. Look at the size of that thing. I'm being rough with him. That's maybe one of my best trout of the day. Boy, I'm doing everything wrong here. Don't want to lose him. Ah. What a nice trout. Whew. You can tell it's not roast season, but in roast season, that would be a fat trout. Get the hook out of her. Should be easy. Just like that, every time. Look at the size of that trout. That is a good looking trout. Really good looking trout. A little bit of a suck gut here though, because we're out of the spawn. Wintertime now. Back in here trying to stay warm. Well, I probably owe a debt of thanks to Captain Billy Henderson, because I don't think I could have shot the episode. A, I wouldn't have been out there testing the actual prop, but B, the water was so low in the creek, I don't know if I could have moved around, because I was literally fishing in the same zone that the guys in the mud boats, the duck boats, were fishing. And for me to get my nearly 18-foot skiff in there was pretty impressive, and ride around with confidence. Because there's a lot of places here on the Nature Coast when you're running your boat, you better be fairly confident that you can get over that rock, or you'll be at the prop shop.